Hello, I'm Arielle from the Inconspicuous Bear, and I'll be narrating the 10-man version of the Iron Juggernaught encounter in the Siege of Orgrimmar from a Guardian point of view. Iron Juggernaught is actually a very simple two-phase encounter, which looks a lot more difficult than it actually is. The first thing you'll want to do is you can either tank him where he spawns and just kind of flip him around so that there's places for everyone to stand, or you can drag him off into a corner to make it easier to handle shock balls. It's kind of up to you. The first ability you'll need to worry about is called Flame Vents. This is a frontal cone fire attack, which deals about 300,000 fire damage, and inflicts both a damage over time effect, which does 30k every second, and also increases fire damage taken by 10% per stack. Because of this ability, you'll be wanting to swap preferably every 3 stacks. However, the next ability we'll cover may dictate that you have to take every 4, or it's usually between 3 and 4, depending on crawler mine timing. You want to go for 3 if at all possible, just to reduce damage that you or your co-tank are tanking. As a tank, the second ability you need to worry about is called Crawler Mines. He'll spawn 3 individual mines it's on a timer about 30 to 40 seconds, and these mines will then start ticking down. If they explode, they do about 350,000 damage to every person in the raid. However, you can jump on them, which will deal about 1.25 million damage physical damage before mitigation to the person that jumps on them. Now, primarily this is going to be the tank's job because the tank has the most physical mitigation, obviously. Even better is that Guardians are extremely well suited to this. You can jump on a single mine, you'll get knocked up into the air, you come down, charge to the next mine, like this, or I guess I'm just walking to this one, charge to the next mine, get knocked up, and then charge down, and you immediately jump on the third one. Now, it kind of depends on the placement of the mines, how easily this works. Ideally, what you can do is jump on one, either charge or skull bash to the next mine, and then charge or skull bash, whichever one you didn't use before, to the third mine. This allows you to grab all 3 mines pretty quickly. It's best if you probably save Barkskin for this situation, because while the mines are going to do about 350,000 damage to you when they explode, which normally by itself isn't going to be enough to threaten you. However, you're still going to be taking dot damage from the fire dot, so it's definitely a good idea to have a mitigation cooldown up, and use any spare rage you have on FR, or if you have a dream proc or whatever, heal yourself up, or try to after each stomp, so you don't end up getting yourself killed. The last ability you need to be careful of is something called Shock Blast. This will happen during his second phase. You can see here where he's just kind of sitting in the middle and doing this raid-wide AoE, and there's black puddles and everywhere, and yeah, you get knocked back like that. Now, Shock Blast by itself is pretty harmless, especially to a tank. However, what you really need to be aware of is Shock Blast happening at the same time as you're jumping on a crawler mine. Now, I've had this happen to myself, and it's a huge pain. What can happen is if you jump on a crawler mine at the same time as he's doing Shock Blast, you can actually get knocked out of the arena, which is bad, and there's no way for you to get back in. Like I got knocked into a little crevice, and I was stuck there for the remainder of the encounter. Kind of sucked. So just make sure don't jump on a crawler mine during Shock Blast. There's never any reason to. Should never actually happen. If you have to wait like 5 seconds or second or whatever for the shock blast to happen before you jump on the crawler mine. For tanking items, definitely tank the DPS cloak. There's not any burst damage. I mean, I guess you could take the taking cloak just to be extra careful for jumping on crawler mines, but it's not necessary at all. On the other hand, you definitely want to take the tanking metagem, because there's a lot of constant damage going out, especially during I guess it can't proctor in the second phase, but especially for crawler mines, just in case you don't have Barkskin up, or you need to save it for another reason, or what have you. It's always good to have that extra buffer. For talents, in the first tier, you definitely want them taking Wild Charge, as I mentioned earlier, for crawler mines. It makes it wildly easier, and it also makes it so that as a Guardian, you can take all 3 crawler mines instead of only being able to get 2 and having to have someone else get 1. For the second tier, either your Sayer's Gift or Scenario Ward, there's no real burst damage to be aware of in order to justify taking Renewal. Third tier is irrelevant, ignore it. Fourth tier, Soul of the Forest or Incarnation, doesn't matter. Take could pick 5th tier, again, ignore it. 6th tier, primarily recommend Germ Cenarius or Nature's Vigil. You could theoretically make use of Heart of the Wild as a healing cooldown during Shock Blast, just by spamming Rejuve on, or during his Siege mode, just by spamming Rejuve on everyone. Could be useful then, but that's kind of up to you and how your healers feel. Generally, you won't really need to do that, and it's really hard to make use of it as a DPS cooldown because of Shock Pulse. Other than that, there's no real tips or tricks to be aware of on here. The one ability I didn't mention, you probably saw it during the video, was the spiky stuff coming out of the ground. You can pretty much straight up ignore it. Thanks for watching this video, and I wish you luck on your Iron Juggernaught. Right. I got knocked over the wall. That's fucking awesome.
You got knocked over the wall?
Fucking
Nice.
stop spawning on player.
Kill the
Wow,
thing, please.
Crap, kill it for those bombs. Alright.
Thank you.
Yes, 12 urban stones.
Can you summon me, please?